Hi, it's Jennifer Vatz of Belladonna's Botanicals, and welcome to Jennifer's Insights on light and dark magic and energy. And I'm going to start this because it's something I do get questions about from either from YouTube comments or clients and customers and things like that. And I want to talk a little bit about energy because energy, frequency, vibration, it just is. It's what your intention and direction of that energy does. So looking at it, you really have to move beyond the binary of, good, light is good and pure and dark is bad and corrupt or impure or in that good versus evil kind of way. And what I want to talk about, because I am also an energy worker, I'm a Reiki master, so I know how to work with energy, both, and I talk about this like personally and professionally, like my personal energy work and magical work. Yes, I do work with dark energy and dark spirits and things like that, or dark magic, whatever. Also do plenty of light work. They're not mutually exclusive. When it comes to the products I create, I mean, it really is the intention of the product, whether, and it's up to your discretion. Most things are pretty, general purpose. I mean, if you don't work with demons, then don't buy demonic oils or demonic products or whatever, or for dark goddesses, if that's not your jam. But it's not to say other things I do, because I do have a wide array of product offerings that, kind of teeter onto the self-care aspect of it, or are multi-purpose. Everyone needs a good energy cleansing or, aura cleansing type products and things like that. So those are going to be more general energy, and neither, it's got the intention of that, the energy and that intention of that energy added to it. It's not created using dark magic or whatever. But what I want to point out about this, because it's sort of, it chafes my craw, if you will, sometimes is the binary of the, light versus dark, in that sense that, good things can be harmful. We need water to live. We are comprised of water. Too much water can actually kill you. Too little water, you're dehydrated, dehydration can kill you. It's about balance. We need water to sustain life on Earth, but, floods and tsunamis are kind of bad, and kill people. So it's all about balance and harmony with things. So, but on the flip side, because I also work on the poison path, is that, and also with psychedelic medicine on a personal level, is that toxic things can also have healing properties to them. So when you're going to see my cats wandering around back and forth in the background, creating havoc or whatever they do. Anyways, to get back to the poison medicine part of it, is like, yes, belladonna is toxic and, if used incorrectly, can kill you. But it's also used in a lot of Western medicine. If you've ever had your eyes dilated, that's atropine. Atropine is, Atropa belladonna. That's one of the chemicals in belladonna. Like scopolamine, which is in a lot of the nightshades and, the fighting. Some of those are used in like medical anesthesia. So this is something that can be harmful, but if used properly, can be healing. And that's, we're needing to move a little bit along, sort of those dualistic polar opposites. It's one or the other, but it can't be both. So I'll get to that in a little bit. But again, it's finding balance. On the psychedelic medicine side of it, I'm going to do a separate video talking about ketamine, but Like I do ketamine for medical ketamine for depression, and something that's an illegal drug, and drugs can be abused and can be bad, and addiction is a thing, but when used properly can also be a healing treatment for the same thing with psilocybin and other psychedelic medicines, is that they can also be used for treating depression and PTSD and things like that, and trauma and stuff. So it's not, you can't just put it in one basket or the other. It exists beyond a basket, if you will. So now magic, all magic, regardless of your path, whether your left-hand path, right-hand path, white love and light, white magic, or dark magic, Luciferian, Satanism, whatever, all of it is energy manipulation. And what is energy again? Energy is its own thing. Energy is energy. And it's what you do with that energy and how you direct that energy and how you work with it and what the intention of it is that makes it malleable, turns it into something. So, I mean, we are, humans like to categorize things into, in ways that they can be definable. And I get that. I mean, I would say, yeah, sure, whatever. I practice black magic, or I'm a left-hand path, or a Luciferian, or whatever. But it's not mutually exclusive, because I'm also a Reiki master. I also work with crystal healing. So it's not that one excludes the other. So when you're thinking of magic in terms of light and dark, it's more that there's infinite shades of gray and a whole color spectrum in between and surrounding one. So now here again, we stand at this crossroads of, looking at the binary. Well, white light, white magic is good, and black magic is evil and bad and stuff. It really isn't. I mean, it can be. Anything can, like I said, with, too much water can kill you, but you need water to live. So, again, it's balance. And I do see a lack of balance on both sides. And I do speak out about that quite often on my channel. I will talk about things, whether it's the toxic positivity and, in the wellness kind of communities and things like that, or ableist and narratives that I see, especially more on the white light side. Although on the other side of the occult as well, I'm constantly battling the ableism and misogyny. I speak out about that quite a lot. So I've seen these good, pure and virtuous gurus put people in the ground through their, false claims of, take this herb and it'll cure cancer. And I've seen people use dark magic to heal people from various things. So again, it's kind of like up to the user, and results may vary. But also not getting sucked into believing your own bullshit to the point that you can't be questioned, that you are, that there's no, how do I want to put it? Like, I know as a Reiki practitioner, and I probably have said this in other videos, I'm gonna be like, you fall down the stairs and break your leg, go to the fucking ER first. Don't worry about raking your leg or whatnot. That comes after. If you're under, cancer treatments, aromatherapy is great for as a complementary alternative medicine. It's not going to cure your cancer, but there are people out there that are selling lies, saying things like that. Well, if you eat this diet and do these things and these herbs and this, that, and the other thing, it'll cure your whatever. And that's very dangerous. Does it come from a place of good intention? Perhaps initially it did. But again, it's how you use that energy. And as a skilled energy worker, I know how to work with energy in a way that keeps it separate and protected from other things. So, I'm trying to see what I have around here. Okay, so I've got some crystals here. So it's like, I use this crystal for, I don't know, let's see, rainbow fluorite. That one's good for like anxiety. So, and lapis lazuli, I just like this piece. I use lapis for, drawn a blank, but I thought this piece was pretty. So say I use this for, so this was anxiety. This one's for, I don't know, depression. Or no, throat. Let's say throat chakra work. Are these two things the same? Do they have the same energy? Are they programmed in the same way? Are they, I mean, they can be in the same space, but hold two very separate intentions. I may hold this stone and keep it by my desk to help keep me calm. I may hold this stone, so that I can speak my truth. Are they going to, have a little fight? A little crystal fight over who gets to have the dominant energy in that space. Because when you work with energy, whether you're working, magic, plant medicine, herbs, crystals, whatever, and any magical implement, it's charged and activated for that particular intention. So being that I make a Lucifer oil and I don't know, energy soap, doesn't mean it's Lucifer's energy soap. If it was Lucifer's energy soap, it would say Lucifer's energy soap on it, because I'm pretty transparent about those things. So, crystals down. Yeah, like I create everything for general purpose, unless otherwise indicated. Like Lucifer's love drawing ritual oil or Belial's hammer of justice court case oil, it's in the name. A healing spell oil you can use with any entity, whether you want to use it with archangels or Archangel Raphael, whether you want to use it with Marbas or Lucifer or whomever you want to, it's fine. And it does draw another question I get a lot is, well, if I work with demons, can I work with angels? Or if I work with angels, can I work with demons? Yeah. I don't see why not. I know a lot of people who do on the dark magic side work with archangels just as, in different ways that they work with demons. And if you look at the original etymology, angels were messengers, demons were teachers. Not a whole big difference there. So I'm just looking at my notes. So again, it is about balance. And it's also, and a message that probably all sides need to hear is no one practice is superior to another. Whether you're right hand path or left hand path or, some, twisty path down there over to the left and in the swamp, neither are superior. They're just different modalities. It's, and I see people kind of, getting into that mindset. Again, it goes to that dualism of good versus evil or light and dark and stuff like that. So what we really need to be looking at is moving towards more non-dualistic approaches, and that, taking the dualism and dichotomy and accepting it as an illusionary phenomenon, while these things are not actually separate. And non-duality is the experience of interconnectedness. So the light and the dark are interconnected, whether you identify as, a white light person or a dark magic person, they're interconnected. So you can't have one without the other. Anywho, thereby, in non-dualistic terms, light and dark cannot exist without each other, and they're connected and, cannot exist on their own. So, how this clears up a little bit about, what people think of, the differences between light and dark magic, or light and dark energy, and all that kind of all that jazz. But yeah, so I mean, there's a whole history of why things have become demonized and why there's so much polarity, because it's either this or that, and no one wants to see that it's a spectrum. It's, is my hair pink, purple, or kind of orangey red in place? It's all of them, and whatever my natural hair color is growing in these days. So don't limit yourselves in your practice, because it's not going to benefit you or anyone else. Like, I mean, I find that even, okay, so I'm on the dark magic side of things. Well, I find doing Reiki has helped me immensely in my magical practices and in the products that I create. And it's taught me a lot about how to channel energy and do energy work. Doing shadow work. Jesus, I've been jumping Jesus on a pogo stick. Do both sides ever need some shadow work? Because there's a lot of toxicity in the occult, which is, again, something I talk about quite frequently. I don't know. I think I will just kind of conclude with, and I've said this in a myriad of videos over the years, I think it's all about balancing the light and the dark. That's really, really what it is. And both sides need to knock it off with the judgmentalness. I mean, like, yes, if there is a particular instance or a particular, type of thing that you see, like I made a video earlier in the year where I think it was something about, I can't get my mouse to work on the other computer. It was about detoxifying the wellness community, where it's like a particular person posted something that was so ableist, and I'm like, well, yes, in a world without poverty, yes, this would work perfectly. Or without poverty and disability, your idea is perfect, but that's not the world we live in. That to me is toxic behavior, what this person was espousing. I will call out the misogyny and ableism in the occult any day. But anyways, don't judge someone because they practice dark magic, or vice versa, because I see, some people kind of slamming the normies and whatnot, and etc. It's just sort of like, when you start to judge people based on a preconceived notion and definition of things, that's how you end up with a lot of words that end in isms and obias. So check yourself. And live and let live. It's just kind of like, I don't really care what people's practices are. I'm not going to not buy something from someone because they only work with angels. It's just kind of like, makes no sense to me. But at the same time, I don't know why this just popped into my head, but I, like, many decades ago, I think I was in my early 20s or whatever, and I worked in a CVS, and someone bought something and their total came up to $6.66. And the 666 thing associated with Satanism and the devil, they literally bought a pack of gum just to change the number of the total on the thing. So don't be like that. Don't let fear, take away a learning experience. And it is a learning experience. And there's good teachers, bad teachers. There's people who are full of shit on either side. Use your judgment. I mean, it's kind of like vetting resources for an academic paper. Maybe not rely on the Wikipedia page or some, no-name blog for your information, but look for reputable sources. Look for people with, sometimes people decent followings have are shitty teachers or have shitty ideals. But it's probably not too hard to find people who have authors, creators, businesses, teachers, etc. So anyways, I'm just going to leave it at that. Love y'all.